I get in the shower, I had a little shelf type thing I got that I could put above the shower water level, and I could put it up there. And it's just almost not a problem. It's just something that you do. I mean, it's not a big deal.
But his health began to fail, and after 4 heart bypass operations and the threat of losing a leg, John was desperate to quit.
I tried first, of course, cold turkey. That's what everybody tries. Then I tried hypnosis. Then I tried Nicorette gum. And I tried hypnotherapy, which is different from hypnosis. And then I tried the patches. And I tried group therapy. And then they weeded me out of that and put me in private therapy because the firm that I was with was going smoke-free. And finally, the therapist in private therapy said that I needed an exorcist.
So today what we're talking about is really pulling apart the habit, the part of the addiction triangle that makes you stuck in addictive thinking that says, I just have to go like this, and like this, and like this every time my nicotine alarm clock goes off in my brain, and it's worth more than my life. Now, what we're going to help you do is to change that attitude and say, man, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to let this master my life.
In a hospital chapel, Linda Ferry runs a quit smoking group. Her secret weapon is not the Bible, but a new medication called Zyban. It boosts dopamine levels in the brain and seems to reduce the craving for the next cigarette. Previously, only 1 in 20 smokers in her group managed to stop, a rate worse than heroin treatment. But in the first trial of Zyban, more than half quit.
Well, keep up the good work. Working slowly but surely.
Linda Ferry was amazed by the results.
I was just afraid someone was going to say, oh, you must have done that all wrong. You don't get results like that, especially with a drug that's unproven. I mean, you must have biased your studies somehow.
One of the first smokers to try Zyban was John.
Zyban did hardly anything, but it gave me that millimeter of an edge that I never had before. Zyban was not a magic pill. It didn't all of a sudden I woke up after 2 weeks on Zyban and say, I don't want to smoke anymore. It was a struggle for 6 months, but never before had I had that slight edge that said I might outlast this craving. I might not have to cave.
Since his course of Zyban finished, John hasn't smoked a single cigarette.
The amazing part now is that in clinical practice using Zyban for smoking cessation, 40 to 60% quit rates are the standard that we expect. And that's a far cry from 5%.
If the drug's as effective as Linda Ferry claims, Zyban could be a powerful new treatment. This summer, it will be licensed for use in the UK. For Melanie, her heroin detoxification is about to begin. Tucked away in the Essex countryside is a clinic that deals mainly with alcoholics and heroin addicts.
I'm going to be nervous as hell because, I mean, it's not going to be fun. I'm under no illusions. I'm not going to have a great time on a holiday for 5 days. It's going to be pretty grim.
You agree not to bring into the clinic or the clinic grounds during your stay any unprescribed drugs or alcohol.
Right.
Yeah. The use of mobile telephones or receiving incoming calls is not permitted during the detoxification period. Okay? Right.
Colin Brewer has pioneered the use of naltrexone implants in the UK. These experimental implants are buried under the skin of the addict and last for up to 6 weeks.
And, I mean, what actually does the drug actually do?
Naltrexone just blocks the effects of heroin, so that if you take any, nothing happens. You can smoke or inject as much as you want, and it won't have any effect as long as you've got an adequate level of naltrexone.
And once that implant has worn out, I can have another one?
You can have another one. Some people find that just one is enough to get them through the most difficult period. Some people have a series. Our record at the moment is a chap who's had 20.
But before the naltrexone is given, Melanie has to begin withdrawal.
Okay, slight break.
She's sedated heavily and given a combination of medicines to counteract the symptoms of cold turkey.
Vomiting, diarrhea, sweating, runny nose. It's pretty miserable. And it's easy to say, well, they must be exaggerating it, but not many people would put up with this sort of thing for several days on end, knowing that relief was at hand. And that's why a lot of detoxes fail, because the symptoms are not adequately controlled.
My personal worst thing is my legs. Some older women get what they call restless legs, where their legs sort of move in the night, and well, I get like a much more exaggerated version of that. I can't keep my legs still. I mean, they dance all over the place, but they hurt.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit rough.
Right, do you want some, I'll give you some medicine to calm you down a bit. Would you like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, I'm just sort of
Agitated? Yeah. Right.
set my legs off. I hate that.
For Melanie, the 4th day of withdrawal is the worst.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Shit.
The symptoms are the exact opposite of the effects of heroin, as the body fights to readjust to the lack of the drug.
Sorry, Mum, you're talking to my dad.
Normally, heroin is a muscle relaxant.
Where is this?
Now her legs go into spasms. This is why it's called kicking the habit.
Hey, Melanie. 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 I've got another jab for you to help you relax, all right?
Oh, you want to go?
Yeah.
So just put it.
On the 5th and final day, the naltrexone implant is inserted under Melanie's skin.
Stick sheath.
The naltrexone will gradually dissolve, and once in her brain, will completely block the receptors on the nerve cells that are normally stimulated by the heroin.
But the implant is down there, and well below the suture line. That's good.
Okay.
All over. Stitch it up. If they're on an naltrexone implant, they can't relapse. Virtually impossible. I mean, we can almost give a written guarantee that nobody will relapse during the first month. And that seems to me a real advance in treatment.
But once Melanie is no longer supported by the implant, the rest is up to her.
The house is cleaned of all drug paraphernalia. It's all chucked out, everything. You know, even down to the spoon I used to cook up in, which I didn't need to chuck away. I could have cleaned it and used it again, but I chucked it out. So it's all gone. Perhaps if I didn't have Megan, I'd still be on it and I wouldn't care. But I have got Megan and I love her to bits. And she's the reason that I've done this, and she's the reason I'm going to stay clean.
New treatments for